Hi everyone, welcome to episode 10 of reviewing and ranking my entire CD collection, something I've started to pontificate being too much of a mammoth task that will never get finished. I am determined to get to the Holy Land of getting through all of them. I think it's about 600. It may take me 84 years to complete, but it's all about the journey, not about the destination. Today's EP is Social Media Circus by Almeida. Stay until the end of the video to see where it ranks amongst the rest of the CDs I have already reviewed in the series. For the uninitiated, Almeida are a melodic hardcore slash metal slash progressive thrash slash punk slash skate punk slash thrash metal band from Brighton. Easy for you to say. To say they cross a few genres would be an understatement. I became aware of Almeida when I used to run a punk rock radio show online around 10 years ago called the Punk Rock Gospel, which is still available on Mixcloud if you want to look for it, after you've watched this video obviously. I would often panic to find decent bands to play. Despite being unable to offer bands any financial benefits from appearing on the show, I wanted to get the band's permission for me to play their music. This is due to having an issue with Johnny Cash on a pre-Punk Rock Gospel online show I used to do in 2007. Despite being dead for 4 years at that point, Cash managed to get my show shut down, or at least his people did when they sent me a cease and desist email. Maybe I should have been flattered my crappy little online radio show reached Johnny's people. My second stipulation to appear on the Punk Rock Gospel was that all bands had to still be active, be it recording new material and or touring. This meant I couldn't fall back on the Bad Brains or Operation Ivy or hundreds of other bands that are no longer with us. Plus I didn't want John Lennon's people getting in touch with me. So I had to find new bands to fill the programme with. One way of doing this was to sift through all the names of the bands on the poster for the Manchester Punk Festival, which Almeida were one of many. I never saw them live, but I did ask for their permission to play a song from Social Media Circus and purchase a CD as well as a download code from their Bandcamp page. I say I never saw them live, but I never really remember too much about Manchester Punk Festival, apart from sampling all the cocktails on offer at the Zombie Shack. Is it Zombie Shack? Manchester Punk Festival's best venue where they play pop music in between the bands. If you've seen any video of mine previously, you'll know I like to give a bit of backstory on the band. That said, a Twitch stream of the creation and completion of the Bayer Tapestry is easier to find than an online origin story of Almeida, so I did what any good journalist would do and asked their Facebook page. Lead vocalist and synth player, or sympathiser if you will, Tom West told me that 3 members of Almeida, himself, Mark Morey on drums and Chris Mason on guitar and vocals, have been playing together since 2001. They waited 6 years for Almeida's first gig in 2007. The band's first album, Fantastic Massacre, was released on Lockjaw Records and Bells On Records in Japan in 2012. Today's EP, Social Media Circus, was the follow-up release to Fantastic Massacre, released in 2015, which makes me 9 years late to the party. Single A Song for Europe was the band's final release in 2020, after, in Tom's words, an abrupt but necessary breakup happened around that time, with the pandemic halting any potential reunion. This makes Almeida ineligible to ever reappear on the Punk Rock Gospel. Tom now plays in Darko, a band Almeida played many gigs with. Mark Morey has joined a new band called Sadax from Manchester that features ex-band members of albums to be reviewed in the future. Tom said that the 3 original members of Almeida still got on really well, which interested me as they recorded Social Media Circus as a 5-piece, with Chris Lowe and Barry Straker joining the band on guitars and vocals and bass respectively. Thinking about what Tom didn't say and reading between the lines, maybe they fell out with the newer members. This is just my detective work here, that's not a fact. As per the last video when we spoke about the Descendants allegedly bullying all their singers. Leave your conspiracy theories in the comments as to why Almeida split up. Tom also told me that despite having fond memories of the EP and loving playing the songs from it, it was a grueling record to make. This is an understandable statement when you take in just how much is going on in every song from Social Media Circus. Each number is layered 100 times with intricate genre changes and virtuosic solos from every instrumentalist. Every band member sounds as if they have gained a first from the most prestigious music school in the world. It is rather embarrassing for my previous review to state that Mass Nerder by All had its intricacies. In comparison to Almeida, All are a 3-chord GCSE composition by someone who picked music because it would be a DOS and somehow went under the radar for the must be grade 5 at any instrument requirements. Almeida are by far the most intricate band I've heard doing these reviews so far, and the most accomplished musicians by a long way. Even if some of the genres displayed within the songs aren't your bag, you can't help but appreciate the musicianship on offer. Intense is another word to describe this EP. We are instantaneously introduced to Almeida by being told to F off in a death metal growl on the record's opener, Ike Caramba. One thing is for certain, Almeida are not boring, neither do they sit on the fence. They are in your face and do not care whether you like them or not. There is something for everyone here as they are able to swap styles multiple times within a small frame. The annoying emo growl, something I don't think I'll ever get on board with, is complemented by propaganda-esque melodic punk framework with a little bit of fellow punk rock gospelites Hell Deaf Fury's angrier moments thrown in for good measure. The Twisted Architect is what would happen if you started a supergroup with Davey Havok of AFI, Iron Maiden's guitarists, and Smelly from NoFX keeping everything ridiculously tight. The rest of Smelly's band even turn up for a little ska section in the middle. Hump Track Payday is hardcore punk in length and thrash metal in style as Almeida once again take no prisoners. The guitar work here is astronomical. The band have said, "Lad, you only have less than 2 minutes to show us why you should still be in this band," and he delivered. Fast definitely equals good. A Book of Endless Pages morphed into a song of endless intensity that needed more lull moments. At this point I was struggling to handle this style of music and was looking forward to reaching the end. It feels about 2 minutes too long. Sometimes less is more. Stripping everything away and building everything up again should have been something Almeida incorporated a lot more. They did this really well in the closing song Creed, when some really quirky East Bay Ray, Klaus Vorreid interplay broke up the dynamics and mood of the song to perfection. My only criticism being that it could have been longer. Little footnote, I've noticed there are some bands I mention in every review. I'm going to start a drinking game every time I mention the Dead Kennedys, Ramones and NoFX. I'm sure there's more. Have I mentioned Minor Threat yet? Social Media Circus is an example of a band sounding comfortable in every genre they turn their hand at. I love some of the genres more than others. The punk and thrash elements of this were my favourite moments. All the different vocal styles displayed here are also commendable. As stated before, I don't think I'll ever enjoy or understand the emo type screamer vocals, but objectively I can call Almeida a fantastic crossover band. Progressive thrash is something that I've never listened to knowingly and know nothing about. In my extensive research, not only have I not heard of the music in the top 10 progressive thrash bands, I didn't even recognise the names. Like the All album, but to a much larger degree, this one really grew on me in a way that I didn't expect. The album was used initially just as a pace changer to even out my radio show 9 years ago, never giving it another listen. Now I've had to review it, I am appreciating it a lot more. I've become a connoisseur of the genre due to listening to the EP so much. I wrote my initial review and then my computer had an epileptic fit and this numpty didn't save the Word document, so this is review number 2, meaning I had to listen to it again and it really did grow on me. I always thought bands like this sounded samey, but sometimes you just need to taste the intricacies, like those people who swill wine and spit it out in a bucket and talk about how it tastes like freshly cut grass or a suburban street or a photocopier. I'm sat in the library writing this. Social Media Circus is an underrated EP from an underrated band who deserves a much bigger following in their prime. 2.6k followers on Facebook is a travesty, unless they're all on Instagram or something, I didn't check. They should be one of the big hitters in the progressive thrash world. It's unapologetic, virtuosic and well structured in both content and delivery. With all that said, I have to give Social Media Circus by Almeida a 7.5 out of 10. Solid songs that are delivered with so much passion and energy. More quiet moments, build-up sections and backing down on epic crescendos that become too overwhelming would have given the album a higher score. 7.5, but an album you definitely have to be in the right mood to listen to and get into. And now to rank Social Media Circus with the albums reviewed on previous episodes. This has to be on the top end of the chart. It won't be knocking off All Hallows or We Don't Land because I prefer those genres. They give me a warmer, fuzzier feeling inside. I do believe Social Media Circus is a better album than Adele's 21. I'm not sure how you're supposed to compare them because they're so different. I was debating over which record is better for quite a while, and I came to the conclusion that I would grab the Almeida LP first, the Almeida EP first if there was a house fire. After the wife and kids, obviously. They're listening, so I had to say that. It feels like it's been a while since Adele was knocked down a place. She started number 1, then 2, then 3. She's on 4 now. So here's the latest rundown of the chart. In at number 10, we've got AFI with December Underground. Number 9, we've got The Addicts with 27. Number 8, we've got AFI with Sing the Sorrow. Number 7, we've got Okada with Freedom Lasso. Number 6, we've got Christina Aguilera with Stripped. Number 5, we've got All with Masked Murder. Number 4, we've got Adele with 21. Number 3, we've got Almeida with Social Media Circus, new entry. Number 2, we've got Afro Cluster with We Don't Land. And then staying at number 1, we've got AFI with the All Hallows EP. Thank you for making it this far into the video. What do you think of this EP? Is it a staple of the progressive thrash genre, or is it too much going on at once? Let's hear your opinions in the comments. In the next video I will be reviewing a compilation called American Hardcore, The History of Hardcore Punk, 1980 to 1986. Like and subscribe to support the channel. Cheers! Also, I had no clue what any of the lyrics were about, I didn't really pay attention. Hopefully they weren't about anything dodgy. See you later.